Okay, so this is here's kind of a quick start. So basically, I've got about 30 hours in this game, and I think I've identified one of the faster ways to get all your stuff done to eventually get your spacecraft to and leave the planet. So one of the things I found was that what you want to do is you want to farm droids. So if you've played this game, and what you're going to know is that once you see that little black ship out there, that thing is essentially what they call a crashed Titan. And the crashed Titan, right now, because this stuff is manually placed and not randomly spawned, we know it's always going to be there. So one of the things that we can do is that we can go in and we can start up our constructor to build. And what we want to do is, in this case, I have to get the ore first, is to get the parts to make weapons. Because if we shoot down drones, what we're able to do is we're able to harvest all of the materials that are in. We don't need that one. Harvest all the materials from those drones to build a lot of the components that we would waste these metals on. Because you get a lot of motors and you get a lot of cores. So we're going to power this stuff up. Okay, we're gonna then transfer what we need. And once we queue it up, we will then we'll go place our oxygen generator. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with a hover ship. So we get a couple of fuel cells. We have to power it up because it's not running. Now she's going. And then our queue's going. So okay, so what we want to do is we want to get an assault rifle, so we're gonna need some metal components. Six, so we need 3. Electronics. And these are the things that are really, I mean, you can mine all you want to get enough stuff to make these parts, but it's a hell of a lot easier to go out with a rifle and shoot down all these drones. There's going to be 3 there. So, right. I'm also just queuing up the 8 blocks we need as well for the ground vessel starter. And then we can't make bullets, the metal pieces. So while that's queuing up, we're going to go and it's going to take some time to build. We're going to go place our water or oxygen generator because we're going to need oxygen soon and we don't want to run out. And we're getting that building our first base in this general location. Now, one of the things I found is that walking sucks. You're not going to want to walk everywhere. You're going to want to, because if you want to see way out there in the distance where there's a little tower, all those areas take some time to get to. And if you sit here running and jumping and then nightfall hits and you're going to get attacked by creatures, it becomes a real pain. So you want to start to drive. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a hover vehicle, which gets you from A to B relatively quickly, and we're going to put all of the components that we need that you would find in your that you currently see inside your escape pod. So it becomes like a little home away from home, and you can do everything you want there. So as you know, we're going to put storage boxes in the fridge, and we're going to put cargo containers and things like that. So we're going to let this sucker run. It's going to start producing oxygen for us when we come back. Hopefully when we get there our ammunition is done, and then what we'll do is we'll go out and we will go farm some droids. After you kill your droids, you could technically go right into the Titan, because there's about at least 7 or 8 lockboxes or not lockboxes, but storage containers in there with valuable materials. I found sniper rifles, rocket launchers, excess ore, ration packs, plant materials, so you name it. I don't know if it's randomly generated or not, but there are tons of things in there to use. So if we're lucky, we'll come out with a whole bunch of motors and cores, and these are things that we don't have to waste our current resources on. And we can then use those to build all of the components required for our hovercraft. So where are we at this? So we got our weapon. We got 100 rounds. And we'll wait for this one to finish, and then we will go out and... So what do we need? We need a hover engine. So let's see what, I can't remember offhand, what does a hover engine require? So 3 electronics, cables, pipes, 2 motors. So our goal is to get 2 motors, because if we were to build 2 motors, let's see, what does a motor require? Metal components, cables, electronics, and then eventually what we end up doing is we run out of silicon. Oh, let me get that out. So here we go. We got our 125. That should be enough to take out a few drones. So we're going to now, so let's get refresh our oxygen so we can stay out there a bit longer. Obviously, I'm sure you guys have figured this part out yet. It's on every instructional video. I'm going to load it up. And we're full. Okay, so now we should be able to get out there. And again, like I said, walking sucks. It's going to take us a while. But we will get out there, get some parts, and then when we come back, we'll start to working over here, mine the promethium and some of the other metals that we need to finish off our base. And usually what I go after that is I build I start with a very basic base. And I put it in the water, and that's just to get the large constructor, because there's a whole bunch of objects you cannot build with the small constructor. You don't even know they exist until you build a base, put up your large constructor, and once you get that up, you're going to be able to build things for your capital vessel. But you have to go from hover vehicle, if you choose to drive around the ground instead of walking everywhere, to a small vessel, because you can make the small space vessels with the materials you have on this planet. You're going to have to venture to, now there's 2 more in orbit, there's an ice and a fire one, to get the extra materials required to build and manufacture all of the advanced components that you will want on a capital vessel, or to do certain things on your base to make some of the more hard to find components. As you can see, I'm not really farming. Like, this stuff here is easy food. You can take this stuff, you can eat it right away. Corn dogs will give you some food. I'm not stopping to pick up. Normally I would pick up a lot of this stuff. The ones that you really want to get if you want to make large medical packs once you get your food processor is aloe vera. But everything, like you said, has a perish time. So if we go here, we'll see that perish time is 30. So eventually this can turn into spoiled food, which isn't bad because you make nutrient mix with your spoiled food, and it does get used. You do need fiber and things like that. And then the sugar cane. So there's everything here can be used or processed. Hopefully we'll get a few kills in before the sun goes down, because then the more of the hostile creatures come out, and then we're gonna waste our ammo trying to kill these things as opposed to finding our first drone. So the first drone should be coming into sight. You're gonna find them around those other towers. And one of the things once we get to the next video, I'll build the hover vehicle. I learned the hard way that if you park it too close to one of those towers, you'll see them in the distance when they're fully operational with plasma cannons and things like that, and they will one-shot. So you either want to back up your world before you venture too close with one of your hover cars, because you have a fully loaded car with all your materials that you've in your cargo, and so here we're getting shot. So we got let's reload it. You can strafe it. They're very inaccurate. This is 180 range, so this is in range. So when you start to hit it, there's one. They tend to sway off course once you hit them in the right spot. And there's two. So there should be at least one more. I don't know if it's going to come out and get us. I think it's up the top here. So let's see what we've got. So we're just going to reload. T. So this one was horrible. We had no motors or cores. Now, this video is being farmed in version 2.2.4. The one that I'd done most recently, where I built all my materials, was 2.2.3. So there we go. No, that's good. There we go. We got 4 motors and 2 reactor cores. So this one was a very successful farm. As you can hear, we're getting shot at again. That's the range. And he's dead, and then there's this guy up here. So if we get him to come out towards us so he lands on the ground and not inside. As you see, our health isn't going down. Like, so that's it. 4 drones down. So what I tend to do is I take these components and I usually come back with a hover vehicle filled with cargo containers, so I can go in there. So we got one core. And completely pillage this without running out of my personal inventory. And you can't really do that unless you come back with something where you can store all this stuff. So there we go. We don't have to use our materials to build any reactor cores. We got 7 motors. We can go back to our escape pod, and we can just start pumping out materials to make our vehicle, and we can just drive over here as fast as we want to get it done. And as you can see, this is the type of stuff you get in here. So we get an extra pistol. So one of the other things that I was doing, and if I look at my inventory, I don't have it. So no. So what you make is you want to make one of those repair tools, because you can literally, instead of wasting all your materials, when you deconstruct this, so glass uses silicon, and if you don't want to mine your silicon, you want to make windows for your ship, you can start disassembling this with a disassembler. It costs next to nothing to make. So you can come in here, and what I usually do is cut a hole. When you take apart these panels here, you're going to get a cable as well as metal plates. You're just going to get metal plates for the hull. You're going to get a metal plate. You're going to get a glass window. So I literally come in here, and not only do I go through and take out all of the stuff that you find inside these crates that you're going to find, but you can also take apart all of the windows. So here you get some ore. Let's see how you get fast. There's about at least 6 or 7 more containers hidden throughout, but you're going to run out of inventory space relatively quickly. So that's why you should come back, because we have enough to make our vehicle, and we can then come out here and park it outside and literally spend as much time as we want taking it apart. So hopefully we will get back before it gets dark, and then we will go to our escape pod and start to put together our hover vehicle, and then come out here and literally just junkyard this entire ship, or as much as you want, and then we can start farming materials to build our other craft. So I'm going to stop the video here, and yeah, the next one I'll put together the components for the hovercraft, and we will then build it and come back.